This is a terrible idea as far as I'm concerned.
The more he actually talks about it, the more insane it sounds.
Like what they would have to have U.S. If they set it up as a U.S. territory first, that would be a territory, and then maybe they would vie for statehood if they wanted.
I don't think that's actually what they would end up doing. I think that you're not going to make a state in the Middle East. It might be like you might have U.S. forces there, but the goal is put U.S. forces in there, probably get rid of the Palestinians, move them out to somewhere else, and then eventually have Israel take back the Gaza Strip. That's what I hear them talking about. I don't. It's not going to be. You're not going to make. You know,
like a Hawaii in the East.
Yeah, you're not going to have the congressmen or Congress. You know, the senators from Gaza. That's not.
But I tell you, man, it is the horrible thing about it is if there's American troops there, and then there's some sort of attack, like rockets come in from wherever. Maybe Iran, so to speak. Maybe we think it's like, oh, how lucky for us that we get to invade. We have Casus Belli to go into Iran. Like, it's just what a vulnerability to put Americans right there. That is like maddening. Now, the reason I said last year we should make Gaza the 51st state, truly, it was like, what's the least worst outcome for stability? Like, it's like looking at someone that's suffered a traumatic injury, being like, we're going to need to amputate their arm. This is the moment when they're like, all right, we do need to amputate. And it's like the blood is draining out of my stomach thinking about like, we have to do that now. Like accepting that moment of like, yes, we're going to have to amputate. Like, it's horrific. And the person getting the news, it's like, but if you don't amputate, the whole body dies. So that's kind of.
But originally, what Trump said was, what he said was, finish the job. That's what he told Bibi. You know, I didn't know that the unspoken part of that was finish the job, so we can go in and clean it up and claim that territory and like station up in the Middle East, and it's permanent, it's permanently occupied. Like
ownership.
I don't understand this.
Said ownership.
Yeah, he's going to own it.
Yeah,
Long-term.
I don't see how that in any way is a positive for the United States.
Well, he is making bold moves. Like, just since he's taken office, he has like really staked his reputation on making bold moves. This is a bold move, and I can appreciate that, but it's also, I think, insane.
Yeah, I mean, just like like Ian was saying, that the idea of having American troops there almost guarantees further war in the Middle East.
I tell you though, in 50 years, it's going to be beautiful.
No,
it's going to be gorgeous real estate.
Can't get much worse.
No,
that's true. Yeah, it can't get much worse.
Look, if the United States were to do this, it absolutely will lead to war with Iran.
And Bibi would love that.
Yes, Bibi would love that.
Yeah.
I don't see any way around that, right? Like, the Iranians will fire missiles into Gaza. They fired missiles into Israel already. They'll fire missiles at Americans in Gaza. Americans will die. The United States will look at that as, we're going to retaliate. It likely would happen during Donald Trump's presidency, if it does happen, and he would retaliate. It is possible that another president would pull them out, but if you set up an American base in there, presidents don't like to close down American bases. They don't want to do that at all. So, like, I don't see any kind of sane policy coming out of this. This is the first thing that Donald Trump has done where I'm just like, this is absolutely nuts, and I have no idea how this would work.
I just don't know if it's actually about Gaza in the sense of, I think it's sort of like the tariff paradigm, right? It's asserting, I think, United States power or global hegemony that we haven't for a while. I don't really think that President Trump, who I think it's not necessarily expansionist, I mean, not to go with the mainstream critique of him that he's, more, nativist or kind of just folk protectionist here at home. But I think in the same way that he's using this, like, or how he used the tariffs, right, to get Mexico to put 10,000 Border Patrol agents. He used the tariffs to get, $1.9 billion from Canada. I think you guys are taking the bait, like the mainstream media. I don't think it's really about this. And I'm sure it will resolve itself. I don't think, even, I think I was a little hesitant about Marco Rubio at first, right, given his kind of neocon past. But I do think that what he was talking about, right, sort of this rules-based international order, the idea that we're the world's policemen, I think there's a very firm rejection of that coming from the White House. We're shutting down frickin' USAID. I don't think a same administration that's shutting down USAID is about to start adding or annexing a 51st state. So I would say give it like 2 days, and I think it will resolve itself.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear where this goes because
I'm
so
curious
far.
if he told Netanyahu too. Like it just seems like Trump just kind of said it, which honestly kind of mad respect, telling not just China, Canada, and Mexico, but now you're telling Israel, like, hey, actually, long-term ownership. I mean, that's extremely bold
Yeah,
for
yeah,
any
it is.
president to do. I don't think that historically that's ever been done. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, but I mean, it's negotiating from a position of strength. And I think it's just something we haven't seen in a while. And it's narrative shattering, shall we say.
Definitely.
What do you think he wants?
I don't know. I guess I'll have to ask President Trump in the briefing room.
I mean, that does sound like a pretty good idea, seeing as you're going to be going to be in there in the next week or so. Yeah, make sure you ask him. Hey, what's the end goal here? Are you just looking to have more resorts? You looking for like a Trump Tower in Gaza? Is that the goal?
Yeah, I think that is what he wants. He wants one in North Korea too. He keeps talking about it. He's like, they have beautiful.
I would say we
oceanfront
should build a Hooters because I've
waterfront.
been told dress like a hostess at a Hooters.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.